Hello beautiful people of this beautiful planet, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Aditi Bhati and today I'm going to be making a hospital vlog. I'm currently working in the ER department, which is my favorite place to be apart from the psychiatric department, because ER is full of opportunities to learn from. There are surgical emergency, medical emergency, trauma coming in all the time and you never know what will come through the door. I sound very sadistic being excited about handling emergencies, but from a junior doctor's point of view, as I said, ER is a hub of open opportunities for learning from so many kind of different specialities. So yeah, I am always happy to work here. So I'm going to go in. I am currently on a morning shift. Let's go. Let's get started. Good morning. At any hospital, emergency is a place of rush, with all kinds of ailments coming in all the time. So, in order to be prepared for that, we need to have a great team on hands. And a great team consists of good junior and senior doctors, hard-working set of nurses, and good orderlies, along with the supportive administration. And of course, a few drugs. This is what our emergency looks like right now, post-COVID. We used to have a bigger area for the emergency, but that part of the hospital is currently acting as a COVID zone. So this is what we are working with currently. हेलो ये हमारे इंटर्न्स. हाय संजना, आज तुम्हारी मॉर्निंग है. स्टार्ट करें आज का. It's a 16 buff in the dark. Okay, so I'm back from my shift. It's 3 p.m. now. It was a long day. We had a lot of patients that I'm going to talk about now. But I'm going to head home first because मैं आज mic लाना भूल गई, and if I don't use a mic, then my voice is something like that, which is not very appreciating. So I'm going to talk about all the patients that we had in the emergency today and everything that we did to treat them. But first I'm going to go home and then I'll talk to you. Bye. See you soon. Okay, so I got home. I have my mic on and let's talk patients now. There were plenty of patients in the morning shift today, but I'm only going to talk about 5. Otherwise, this video is going to be very long and nobody wants that. So let's get started. So the first patient we got in today was a 6-year-old with undiagnosed seizure disorder. I say undiagnosed because the patient has had similar episodes in the past for which his parents did not seek medical help. They would always take him to a quack, which obviously did not help. So this time they brought him to a hospital, and as soon as the patient got in, he was already having seizure-like activity. So we administered diazepam, but which did not help, and seizure was still ongoing. So I called the on-call pediatric resident, Dr. Faisal. He came in very soon. Patient saturation was also low because of seizure, so we did some suction and administered some oxygen. What could be the cause of pediatric seizure? So there are multiple causes. There can be trauma. There was no history of trauma, and hypoglycemia was also eliminated because no such history. There was no underlying illness ongoing, so we can keep that aside as well. Fever, which is quite common. So there was history of fever for 2-3 days. And as stated by the patient's parent, this has happened before, which was also followed by a 2-3 day of fever. So yeah, basically we can say that it was a febrile convulsion. Most children outgrow seizure disorder as they enter their adolescence, given that their EEG is normal. Otherwise there are few kids who carry seizure disorder lifelong. This child was handed over to the pediatric team, and then they took care of the child. But a point taken from this particular incident is that there are still people who would not come to seek medical help until it's too late. They would rather just go and see quacks and I don't know what not. That needs to stop. Anyway, so the second patient we had was a 5-year-old with foreign body ingestion. So there was this girl who ingested a coin previous night, and the parents brought her to the ER the next morning. And on examination, the patient was not having any breathing difficulty. The patient's saturation was perfectly okay. That means that the coin was not stuck in her trachea, that is the windpipe. Instead, it was in her esophagus. So I called the on-call ENT SR, Dr. Abhinav Srivastav. He came in and took the case. We sent the patient for X-ray. If this coin were to stuck in the trachea, the patient would have problems in breathing, and the patient's face, lips might have turned blue because the coin was stuck since last night, which was not the case, luckily. So patient had to be taken for surgery. Unfortunately, we could not have emergency surgery for this patient, so there was a planned surgery for the next day. The next patient I had was a 45-year-old female with history of hypertension. She came in with a blood pressure of 198/110. So this person has been on antihypertensive for about 2 years, and she stopped taking medications for the past 10 days, believing that now that her BP is under control, she should stop taking the medications, which is absolutely not the case. If you've been started on antihypertensives, you have to continue taking them throughout your life, unless your doctors would advise the opposite. So not taking the medication for 10 days led to her blood pressure getting so high. So I ran an ECG, and her ECG was perfectly fine, just to rule out any cardiac happening as well. We gave her Lasix. Lasix are diuretics. Basically, these are drugs that eliminate extra water and salt from your body, and hence bringing the blood pressure down. And within 40 minutes, her blood pressure came down to about 150, 100 something, and then she was feeling better. And because of the high blood pressure, she was having immense headache, which was better with time. And then we discharged her. I started her on antihypertensives again and gave a good counseling that why she should not stop taking these medications. Her blood pressure was getting better because of the medication. So if she stopped that, again her blood pressure is going to rise up, and which can lead to multiple problems. So there was that patient. Next, patient number 4 was a 4-year-old with a history of fall from height. So the patient had fallen from first floor terrace while playing, and immediately ABCDE was done, and there was no external injury, there was no external bleeding, but the child was semi-conscious. GSCS was about 11 or 12, and it was responsive to pain and was crying on pain, but otherwise the patient did not have any ENT bleed, no history of seizure, no complete loss of consciousness, no history of vomiting. However, there was bruising and slight periorbital edema on the left eye, which might point towards basal skull fracture. So we send the patient in for CT scan. which luckily did not show any fracture. But to get a second opinion, I called my surgery SR, Dr. Samaksh. He came in, saw the patient, and he was quite satisfied with the CT as well. So we kept the child in observation for a little while, monitored all her vitals, and gave her all the necessary medications, but it was not a very critical case, so that was great. So the last patient was actually an old patient of mine with a long history of COPD. He came in with some exacerbation. He had complaints of shortness of breath and productive cough for the past few days. We got him tested for COVID-19 first, and it was luckily negative. Then I did some examination, and his chest had bilateral V's, and he was not able to breathe properly. So we nebulized the patient, and then I gave him some inhalers and some medications to help him breathe properly. He was not using the inhalers that he had previously properly, so I counseled him on that. I gave him new inhalers and told him how to take how to take it in when he needed, and also explain the medication, and then he was discharged. So these were all the patients that I wanted to talk about. So there was case of medicine, case of surgery, case of ENT. So as I said previously, emergency is full of opportunities to learn, and thank you to all my SRs who came in the ER and helped me understand the patients better. I'm thankful to all of you. Thank you so much for watching this video. This was it, and if you like this video, do not forget to share and subscribe, and I'm going to see you in the next video very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Have a happy day. Stay happy and healthy both physically and mentally. I'll see you later. Bye.